and very good morning to the principal of our Chris the Crane
You are
Engineering
audible, sir.
College. Yes, sir. So Dr. N. Jayakumar and my dear beloved friend Dr. M. R. Babu and faculty members and my dear students. So today, actually, by knowingly or unknowingly, arranged a webinar. How many of you know that today is an Engineers Day? I don't know whether on behalf of our celebrating, we are celebrating only we are arranged or as a regularly a technical seminar. Of course, today we are celebrating the birthday of Sir Moksha Kundam, Vishweshwaraya. Okay, so his birthday we are celebrating. So he is one of the finest engineers that is available in India, contributed a lot, Bharat Ratna awarded. And on this day, so being an electrical engineer, he is basically a civil engineer. So he only constructed a lot of dams in Karnataka and the rest of the part of the country. So on this day, being an electrical engineer, so what we are going to contribute. So because now you know the level of engineering and their knowledge and their involvement and commitment, and especially when they are getting any opportunity, so how they are climbing over the ladder of career and etc. See, everything is in everywhere. It is a cutthroat competition going around. So, being an engineering student, you should aware that. So, what are all the latest trends? Then only you can able to grasp opportunities. Then only you can able to convert that opportunities as a career. So, in this with this a brief introduction, okay, I would like to straight away get into the topic of today's one. So, digital control of DC drives. Actually, it is a very bright opportunity for that because the drive concept, so more than centuries there, and more than 150 years we are using the electrical machines and all. But only the last 20 years, it's a lot of evolution that is especially happening in the particular one. Especially, we start using switch reluctance motor and we start using advanced technologies in our electronics. So these are all possible because of the manufacturing technology, because of the very cheap cost microcontrollers and other things are coming to the picture. Then because of that only, these are all the things were possible. Okay, so that is a way. Whatever the drives concept, we are focusing or we are want a paradigm shift from the existing conventional drive to a digital control of DC drives. So we will see because whenever any new concept or new technology that is introduced, so unless otherwise we satisfied or we convinced that really it is a benefited one, cost cutting one, and having a very good life, so we won't accept. So being an engineer, as I already told that it is the latest one. So now only a lot of people are working on that. So now all the industrial drives, so especially the drives coming from Japan and China, so they are all implemented these technologies only. So if you see that, it will looks like a small CPU only. So the entire drive. Only thing is that you have to externally connect the motor and power source. That's all. So with that, it is capable of very precise control over the operation is possible. Whereas the previous drive, we should have a power modulator which is bulky in nature. Then obviously we should have a control circuit. So then we should have a sensing unit, the sensor unit. So that has to be properly coupled to the shaft of the machine by contacting or non-contacting type. So all these arrangements, there is a need of setting up. Okay, so if you want to really getting a drive performance. What is really a drive? It is similar to that of how naturally rivers are going. So okay, we are not allowing, we are just putting a dam, and from that we are storing and we are facilitating water through the so many channels for irrigation and other purposes. So same way, so whatever may be the machines and motor that we are manufacturing, it is having its own characteristics. Either it's a mechanical or electrical characteristics. But of course, being a motor, mainly we are interested in the mechanical characteristics. That is what's the torque output, what is the speed output, and etc. So from that, we want to change. I want to have a fixed torque, I want to have a fixed speed, I want to have both are varying with the nature of load. So many possibilities, so many proportionate way we can able to do. So in order to achieve that only, the drive concept is coming in the picture, especially last 45 years, I can say that, especially the power electronic technology where start growing. Okay, so then automatically these concepts are come. Now we want to go one more step ahead of that. We don't want any analog control, especially when we are talking about the digital drives, DC drives or AC drives. So what so far in industries also now in many industries they are using the analog control only. How we can able to switch over to the digital control? What is the need? First of all, we should know what is the need of switching over there. Whether it is really a benefited one, how what way we can going to get benefit out of that. So what way it is having a very secured one, precise one, and etc. that we are going to see. So for that I have prepared a presentation. In that we'll start seeing that. Please someone acknowledge that. Are you able to see my slide? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So today's topic is digital control of DC drive. Okay. So for the King Engineering College. So entire my presentation is first I am going to actually it is kind of a review. We are going to see what is the basic concept of DC drive, and then we are going to move to analog. What is really the worrying factors? Which area we are really worrying about the analog control of drives, and from there we want to go for a digital control. So I am going to explain in analog drives, there is analog control of drives. What are all the drawbacks? So why we have to go for, or we have to search for an alternate means. So then how a digital control, okay, that can able to convince us. So what way it is able to convince us? In that case, how a digital speed control is possible, how a digital position control is possible. So I'm assuming that all of you, with the assumption that all of you from the electrical background, and almost maybe all the participants maybe undergone the courses of electrical machines, that you know at least completely about the DC motors, and you studied somehow about the power electronics. But I don't know whether you all studied drives, because maybe as in Anna University, maybe in the sixth semester or seventh semester only they are offering this course. But if you are thorough or if you are strong enough in machines and as well as in power electronics, so definitely this webinar may be giving you some message, giving you some information, useful information regarding the concept of control, digital control of DC drive. Okay. So this is the basic fundamental. This is a concept of drive. So we are not calling any motor as a drive, because it is a motor is one of the element of a drive, important element, important part of a drive. But put together, what is the source? Okay, which type of source we are having? What's a power modulator? Whether it's a converter or inverter? Okay, whether it's a motor, not motor, AC or DC motor, load, what type of load, what type of sensing unit, whether it's a contact or non-contact, what is a control unit by which I am generating. Okay, so wiring, that is a driver circuit, control unit, something called driver circuit. How, what is the input I am giving? How can I give the input, decide input? So put together all an appropriate sequence manner. If I arrange it, then only it will be called as electric drives. This is a very, very basic fundamental. Okay, motor will not be electric drive. So motor is an element. Okay, it is a machine. Okay, if you are giving electrical supply, it will give you a mechanical output. If you are connected to your load, automatically it will show some characteristics based on the no load to full load. It will show, it exhibits some characteristics. That characteristics cannot be altered. Okay, cannot be altered. But here, by introducing a power modulator, sensing unit, and control circuit, I want to have a desired mechanical output of the motor. That only it's called as a drive. So if drive means all the six components should be present. Okay, so what is the source? power modulator, motor, load, and sensing. Of course, what is in the soft? What is the soft which is available in motor? To that only the load is connected. So usually the sensing unit performing. Okay, what is the speed and what is the position? Usually, what is the two parameter that can be sensed from any shaft is what is the speed at which rotating, what is the position, that is the angle at which at present it's rotating. Okay, so this is how we can able to sense, and obviously from that I can able to identify what may be the current, what may be the torque, and etc. that can be processed. And if I'm giving a desired speed here, so what may be the new firing angle in case of a converter, or if you go for what is a new control pulse that has to be generated from control signal, control unit to power modulator, that can be done. For the particular one, we need a power, so that can be drawn from source. So after modulating the power in required form, AC and DC, AC or DC, or variable DC or variable frequency, whatever the thing, that's what. So this is a basic. Okay, this is if I'm saying electric drives, that is having all these components only, not only motors. That also connected, placed in a sequence manner in order to perform a task that will be called as a electric drive. Okay, so coming to the DC drives, if you see the DC drives, so the same concept is implemented. Here we are also having a source, that is a three-phase source is there. We are having a power modulator is there. We are having a control unit is there. Using a tacho generator, we are able to get speed. What's speed? Okay, so because tacho generator is generating an EMF, it is generating a voltage. So it is directly proportional to the speed at which the shaft is rotating. Okay, so likewise, what is the current that is going to the motor? Okay, so in case of a DC means armature current. Okay, so that I'm able to process and I will decide the failure. So this is a basic block diagram of any DC drive. Okay, so this is what we can say it as a conventional DC drive. This is existing for about 45 years. After the, I can say that if you see, as I already told that what is the thing very important, the electrical machine. Okay, the development commenced approximately 150 years ago. However, with the advent of new materials, okay, especially with the new materials and all, it's okay. So with the new material, what is the new material? So many composite materials are coming to the picture with the new design tools and new novel machine concept. So especially linear machines, permanent magnet motor, switched electric motor, and recently the transversal flex machines. How many have you heard about the transversal flex machines? So these are all the few motors or machines were developed last 20 years. Okay, so compared to any other field, computer science or IT or whatever the other fields, the development is very, very slow manner. But when you talk about the development, okay, for with that particular development in the power electronics side and other communication link and other side, it is very, very advanced one. So I am just going to replace, I am just going to make use of that advancement in the existing drive. I am going to convert that particular one as a digital controlled one. Digital control. That is what today's topic also. Because this is existing drive. This is a 45 years old one. So being an electrical engineer, especially in the job market, if you want to get a job, knowing about the old one will not give you a job. Okay, that will not serve the purpose. Okay, so that's where everywhere we have revised the curriculum. All the universities have revised the curriculum. Of course, we should know what is the fundamental, where it started, how it was. Okay, so everything is important. But stopping at that stage itself is not advisable. We have to move ahead and we should know what is the current requirement of industry or current practices that are happening in industry. Okay, so as I already told, many countries are nowadays start manufacturing the digital control unit. That's digital drives. They're saying the digital drives. So only thing is machine, when that is motors and other things only is going to be the same one. But whereas the control unit, the complete drive is going to be the digital controlled one. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. If you see then another aspect, what is the need of this? Okay, so studying these things is, so you should know the fundamental about dynamics of load system. So you know that motor is generating a particular torque. Okay, load is, so whenever it is in a steady state, we can say that both are equal. What is the torque developed with the motor and what is the torque which is opposite nature of load torque which is opposed. Okay, that will be equilibrium. That will be equilibrium or in steady state condition. We can able to say that, so there won't be any further rate of rise of angular velocity. So obviously that will be equal. Okay, so until then there is no any issue. But when you want to really operate this type of drive in industry, very frequently I have to go for acceleration or deceleration. Okay. Apart from the industrial development, there is a huge development that is happening in the electrical vehicle side also. Because in any vehicle, if you see the speed and torque, very often we have to go for accelerate and decelerate. Speed has to be increased, speed has to be decreased. Okay, so at this time, how effectively we can able to store the energy and we can able to use the energy, and in case of braking also there is a possibility of we can able to get back, that is called regenerative braking. So this is what now, so this is very very fundamental, not only with the view of industrial scenario, in the transportation engineering. So now the huge advancement that's happening in the electrical vehicle side by the year 2030. Okay, so there is a one important initiative called FAME, Fast Adoption and Manufacturing of Electrical Vehicles. So India is moving, okay, moving ahead. We are going to adapt very, very fast adoption and manufacturing of electrical vehicle. By the year 2030, we want to see that in commercial market, at least 30% of the vehicle coming, okay, newly buying vehicle, newly whenever in the year 2030 people are buying, 30% of vehicles should be electrical vehicle. So it's a huge advancement is happening. How, unless otherwise we implement the concept of the DC drive, that is digital control DC drive in the electrical vehicle, it will not be a very, very economic one. Okay, so because once again we have to produce the electricity by means of fossil fuel and other things, only still it's going on very, very a little contribution, maybe comes around 12% only now. As of now, it is contributed by the renewable energy sources. So if you start using or manufacturing this electrical vehicle only, people will think about the renewable utilization of renewable energy sources much. Then obviously, accordingly, we have to change the next step. So if you want to take the challenge and work on the challenge and come out with a really a productive mechanism and technology to the society as well as for your own growth. So you should be strong enough in how the paradigm shift is happening from the conventional control of DC drives to digital control of DC drives. Okay, so this is the slide, and once again, is explained about the basic only. There are three different kind of DC drives we can able to say: single phase DC drives, three phase DC drives, and chopper control DC drives. So you should not. I think electrical students may understand that what is single phase is DC single phase. We are industry, we are getting, okay, so what's the power production is happening, it's happening in the AC only. Okay, we are transmitting and we are distributing the electricity by means of AC only. So industries are drawing this as a single phase. Suppose in case of small scale industries and all, suppose if it is a medium scale and large scale industry, they are drawing the power in case of three phase only. So we are not providing or we are not generating nowhere the DC supply. Okay, so that supply has to be provided to a converter that will convert the particular to a DC. That's why it's called single phase DC drives and three phase DC drives. So there are a variety of circuitry configurations are available. When you talk about the Hobfield, especially I want to operate a very, very, very normal motor. Say for example, a small DC motor, which I need for precise speed control, but the rating of the machine is below half HP. So 746 watts is 1 HP means half HP means you can see half of the particular power only. If I need that, I can go for only half wave. Okay. And another one is mentioned is single pulse. Single pulse is nothing but a driver circuit has to generate a pulse. How many pulses? Only one pulse is enough. Because here we are having a SCR, a controlled rectifier switch, which need a single pulse only. But wherever, if I'm going for higher power rating, I cannot rely on half wave rectifier alone, because it is already, what is a maximum power. Suppose if I'm drawing a maximum power from the DC motor, what is the efficiency? It's 50%. Beyond that, how much the ripple content and other things also making heating. So it is not advisable to use half wave rectifier when you are going more than half HP power. That is horsepower power. So up to 20 HP power, we can go for semiconductor. There I am using only two control switches and two uncontrolled, that is diodes, and another one is FWD also, okay, freewheeling diode also I am using. Okay, so that case I need two pulse, that is also operating in the single quadrant operation, motoring operation. It can be satisfied up to 20 HP. Okay. Whenever I want to have two quadrant operation, suppose in case of a DC motor is there, I want to have a reversible operation or change the direction of the rotation also. I can go for that is two pulse operation, full converter. Whenever I want to have regenerative braking, especially the double converter, this is very much applicable if you are planning or if you are doing any implementation that do in electrical vehicle using DC motor. As I already told, the regenerative braking is inevitable. So we should save power, by which only I can able to get an assured efficiency. So if you want to have regenerative braking operation also. So say for example, I am particular, that the DC motor how it is working and all. Okay, so automatically what will happen? So initially there won't be any EMF whenever motor start rotating. Okay, that EMF, back EMF, okay, that will be facilitating the current that is taken from the source. Suddenly, if I want to make braking, okay, so what I will do, I will simply reduce the firing angle, then accordingly my voltage will be coming down. But whereas back EMF will not be coming down that much drastically. So if you see the difference between the applied voltage and back EMF, that is the negative voltage, then automatically current will be drawing in reverse direction. So that way I can able to take the energy, okay, which is stored, which is wasted in other form of converter, whereas if you are using a double converter, I can able to retrieve it. So appropriately, if I'm having a battery and other storing mechanisms, I can able to store. This is what happened in single phase drive. But single phase DC drive, we know that tapping of power more than 20 HP, okay, it's not advisable. We have to switch over to three phase. So three phase also, minimum we need a three pulse converter. If you are using a three phase, then only I can able to use 10 to 50 HP. So up to less than 20 means 20 you can able to single phase. Whenever you want to go for more than 20 or start from 10 HP, we can able to prefer three phase DC drives. So there also the same thing. How many switches are there? How many pulses has to be generated? So that also having a two quadrant, single quadrant, but whereas a double converter is having a and that is provision of forward motoring, reverse motoring, okay, forward regenerative braking, reverse regenerative braking also. But of course, in a double converter, we cannot operate both the converters simultaneously because that lead to a dead short circuit. So whenever we need to save the power, regenerative braking only, we are operating. Okay, so this is the basic thing that we are already know. Okay, to revise it back because these are all the conventional drives. Okay, conventional drives on top. So now let us see if these conventional electric drives are implemented in industries. What are all the setbacks, drawbacks in them, or what are all the limitation it is having? Okay, so one clear evidence is that it may not be much suitable for the electric vehicle application. Okay, so that's why in electrical vehicle, all the modern electrical vehicle, of course, Tesla and other models, they are using induction motor. Okay, but whereas some of the electrical vehicle they are using the DC motors also. So it is very clearly it is evident that so for the electrical vehicle application, digital control of DC drive is more preferred than analog control. Apart from that, what are the other things that's limiting? Okay. So very important thing is when we are operating the particular drive in a very low speed operation, that will be impaired by the offset intrinsics of operational amplifier. So always the closed loop performance of particular desired performance will not be getting because there will be offset voltage, always offset voltage difference will be there. that lead to will not be zero. Because of that, even though I'm setting a particular speed, I cannot operate that exactly at a particular speed. A slight deviations always will be there. So whenever we are operating that particular low speed, so if you want to overcome that, we have to go for digital control. And second one, so of course it is a closed loop one. We are sensing the speed, we are sensing the position of the shaft. So these are the two things. Apart from that, we are sensing the voltage, we are sensing the current from the particular electrical line. So these are the feedbacks we are taken. So this feedback gains, what we are defined by the resistor and capacitor, they are changed with the temperature and aging. Because in industry or whatever may be the scenario in which this type of a closed loop system is implemented, we are now in case of analog implementation, we are completely relying. Okay, we are depending on these values of resistors and capacitors. But these are all made up of from the materials that is available in this world only, from the earth only. Okay, obviously, due to the aging, due to the external temperature, these values will be differ. Then obviously, feedback gain also will be differ. So where we prefer a precise control, the analog implementation is facing some problem. Apart from that, analog shaft sensors. Okay, so as we have shown in the previous diagram, we are using a TC tacho generator. Okay, the tacho generator is using that introduced a noise. Okay, so it is a, once again it is a small machine. Even though you are having a very big motor, okay, and what is the, if you want to know really speed, what we are doing? We are coupling a tacker generator to the shaft. It is also a small rotating machine, so that is creating certain amount of noise with the noise frequency related to speed of rotation. Okay, the noise in that noise, what will happen? That will be added in the feedback line. That will reduce the applicable gain. So obviously, we cannot enhance the closed loop bandwidth. It will also will be reduced. Okay. So this will be superimposed. This will be superimposed on the signal or feedback we are getting there. So that is the reason why we are not able to get an exact precise control operation in case of analog. And further to that, when we are providing, okay, that is implementing a conventional control actions. Okay, conventional control actions, we cannot very easily implement any non-linear control laws, backlash compensator, anti-resonance filters, impulse resonance filter that we cannot implement because it is not providing any provision for that in the analog implementations. Simply we are using the combination of resistors, capacitors will be there. Okay, and we are providing that and we are able to filter. But we cannot think about any kind of these type of filters. We cannot implement any non-linear control laws. Okay, that is making it very, very difficult. Okay. And another one disadvantage is the speed control task. Speed control task. So very precisely I have to control. When the adjustable feedback parameters, okay, see, must be adapted to online to specific operating condition. It is very, very hard to implement by means of analog. Okay, I want to have, okay, it is itself an adjustable feedback parameter. Okay, say for example, for particular temperature, okay, so automatically I have to take it to the particular temperature into the, as a feedback. Then accordingly I have to change the operating condition. Okay, when the temperature is more, I have to go for very, very high performance of motor or high output power of motor, by which only I can able to control this. So these are all the feedback parameters, adjustable feedback parameters. When we are adapted to the online, it is too difficult to realize them in analog form. Okay, rather than that, we can go for digital form. And another one is change in parameter or structure. Suppose I want to initially I am going for a control, speed control. Now I am implementing a position control. That too very precisely I want to have a position control. Means now it's a parameter changed. A structure, okay, of analog speed control that is changed. So for that I have to replace all the resistor and capacitor values. So I have to completely close that circuit. I have to make it remove that. I have to replace with suppose a parameter change. I am additionally incorporating a current and sensing. I am sensing the voltage apart from the speed and other things. Means what is the existing as controller is there, no speed control that cannot be used. I have to go for a change of structure. So when you are going for this type of change in parameter or structure, if you go for implementation of digital form, that will be giving a more viable and feasible solution than go for an analog implementation. Okay, so this is the reason why now industries, because earlier 45 years before when the concept of drives were introduced, at that time it is capable of doing all these things. Now we are going for very precise control, operation, very fine-tuned form of performances, and whenever we are, especially one example, very nice example I told, electrical vehicle. Okay, whenever I'm taking my leg or I'm taking my acceleration pedal, I'm removing my leg from there, then immediately that has to be applied and retrieving. That is regenerative braking concept should be implemented. So my entire car has to be slowed down immediately. Okay, so whatever maybe the inertia and other things are there, that has to be retrieved. Okay, so regenerative braking has to be store my energy in a battery in a reversible form. So these are the very precise feedback also need. So if you want to have that type of system in your day-to-day activities as well as in industrial practices, so we have to go for digital platform only. Okay, that is what required. So okay, so what would they look like? Suppose that is previously we have seen that how it looked like with the conventional control of DC drive. So here I am showing the slide in which it is implemented a digital control on DC drive. A digital control on DC drive. So especially after the advancement that is especially happened in the microcontroller of DSP. Okay, so huge advancement happening in the other part of also. That is especially microcontroller. There are a lot of big microcontroller. A dedicated controller can be we can able to adapt with a very less cost, and we can suppose in case of industry means we can go for the DSP processor. TMS processors also is coming very precise pulse generation, because once you're talking about a digital control, so it is nothing but on-off control. Time is a fixed one, on time and off time, very dynamic one. Okay, when you want to change, very dynamic one. So every second we are sensing, okay, and we are sampling and we are generating the reference signal that is having an on and off variation very fast means. So that type of signal generation is absolutely possible only when you are using a digital signal processor. So it is having so many peripherals, okay, pulse width modulation, analog to digital converter, counters, these are the peripherals they are used. But of course with the advancement, okay, so I can say that, so with this I can say that any contemporary motion, okay, with the concept of control system, it comprises discrete time speed and position control. Okay, so any contemporary speed control system, even though we are calling it as a speed control system, when we are implementing the digital concept, it is additionally we have to see the position of the particular shaft or rotor also. Accordingly, only we have to generate the firing signal. So these two are added. Okay, so this will be called as a motion control. Any contemporary motion control it comprises of discrete time speed and position control. So that's what we have shown. The rest of the thing, if you see that in a drive, I am not going to change all the things, okay, all the things digitally. So there is a myth that digital controller DC drives myth, that is entirely different. Only motor only will be the remaining element, okay, which is not touched. That's not correct. Very few part, especially control part only, we are going to make it digitalized. So what is the justification? So why we have to go for that and all? I already explained that. Okay. So if you see this digital control of drive very closely, what's the driving force for this digital control? Is calculated discrete. Okay, so every time it's calculated at a discrete, equally spaced intervals, equally spaced time interval. That's very mandatory. So next slide I will explain, because you all studied, some of you maybe studied, okay, so the digital signal processing also. So whatever the analog signal we are doing, we are taking a sampling. Okay, at regular interval we are checking what's the magnitude. Okay, what's our regular interval? We are checking the magnitude that we are processing and analyzing. Okay. Suppose if it is a highly varying dynamic, okay, behavior means, okay, so how to we can able to retrieve. So what is a very important thing, concept of digital signal processing means, even though by means of sampling, I am taking this, using the signals, I should be able to retrieve the original shape of the particular signal. Okay, what's analog signal? Okay, by means of a sampling, I convert it to digital signal. By using this digital signal at any time, I should be able to retrieve it to a similar to that of original signal. So that much of sampling, okay, sampling is needed. So that is the very important driving force. Okay, so that we cannot done or that we cannot do it by any analog means, only by means of a DSP processor, a microcontroller, that is it is possible. Okay, because of the lot of advancement happening and the low cost microcontrollers are coming to the market, so now industries are start using it. Okay, so only these part, after the signals and all, analog signals and all is coming, automatically what will happen? So my is here I have taken a current, and what is a speed and position, either or both. Okay, so I have taken that. So automatically here it will counter will count. Okay, so automatically that will be how much speed, okay, by means of counter, by means of angle I can able to know. Likewise, I am getting a current information that will be converted to, will given to analog to digital converter, very precise. I am taking the sample of that, I can able to convert it to digital form, because what is the need for that? My microcontroller, my DSP will be only understand digital signals, it will not able to understand. After this, what will happen? Here, I am going to implement an algorithm. Okay, suppose I want to change a parameter. Suppose I want to include one voltage sensor, or if I want to remove only, uh, I want to remove position only speed. I can able to do it in algorithm. Okay, I can able to do it in algorithm without touching these things. Without touching these things. So that algorithm will be come out with a decision that, okay, that will be given to a pulse width modulation unit. Okay, what should be the new on and off? Okay, so you know that what's the pulse width modulation technique? Okay, we are having a signal, we are having a triangular waveform. Okay, so when we are doing that, okay, we can able to generate the pulses. So according to the pulses, some switches will be on, some switches will be off states and all. That will be a controlling thing. So if we are doing that algorithm very effectively, then the digital control of DC train will be very, very precise as well. So not only by means of implementing the microcontroller DSP, my system will be very precise control. The full success or the full implementation, okay, it is purely depends on what is algorithm that you are entering. After taking the signal, how you are analyzing, how you are generating the reference signal, okay, that you are going to give to the pulse width modulator, and that is what it is going to decide. Okay, so especially this calculation, okay, so this calculation within a digital speed controller, these are all initiated by the interruptive. So when it normally it is going, once it is set and reference value generated, that's what given. So automatically that only is given to a controller, means it will be in a steady state. Okay, when any interruption happens, when any interruption happens, that means we need to reduce the speed, we need to increase the speed, okay, or we need to reduce the torque, increase the torque, etc. That is called interrupt. Okay, that is happening only. This microcontroller, micro DSP will be coming to the picture, and that will executes the speed control algorithm. So it will sense whatever the sense information that will process, and new input to be required will be processed. So you should you should come to a conclusion that digital control of DC drives means, it doesn't means that we are not going to digitalize completely. It is only in the control part, only on the control part. Wherever we are using PID and other controllers and all, okay, so that can be done. Okay, so what is the control action? Only we are going to digitalize, whereas in sensor and other things, everything's analog. Once again, okay, once again, what we have given to a power converter, that is a power modulator, that also you have to be given in analog signal only. Okay, then only we can able to generate and propagate thing like this. Okay, so if we are giving a generating an interrupt, at each interrupt, what happens is the digital controller occurs how much is the speed feedback and calculate a new sample of the driving torque. So that is what use U asterisk. Okay, every interrupt only. Okay, until the other interrupts comes, my microcontroller DSP will be keep on watching or waiting only. Okay, this will be processed. That information will be stored. Okay, that will be keep on watching only. And if any interrupt comes only, this information, digitalized information will be processed by microcontroller DSP, and accordingly I can go for the particular one. See, this interrupt period, that is called sampling time, okay, or sampling interval. Okay, that is called sampling time or sampling interval. Until that, it is not disturbing. It will not disturb the system, or it will be let it be. So that's why it is ensured the reliability of the system also. Okay. So when we are going for the digital implementation, okay, so especially using microcontroller, DSP processor, not only with the advancement in this thing, there is another one advancement that happens in the soft sensor also. Okay, soft sensor. So I already mentioned that a sensing unit is there that has to be sense speed, main, and position. Speed and position. So there are also a lot of advancement that happens. Okay, so especially speed and position information also I can able to provide it along with the counter. I can able to provide it as a digital information. This will improve closed loop performance because my main purpose or main reason why I'm going for drive concept is in a desired speed or desired torque or desired power operation I want to control my drive means, okay, so whatever will the thing close to operation I perform is that how much percentage it is really implemented, that is very very important. So if I'm using, okay, the sensor output and convert it to a digital one, okay, that is very much useful, especially using this type of counter or equipment. Okay. Apart from this, you know that non-contacting, that optical encoder and electromagnetic resolver, these are all come with the digital converters also. Nowadays, you can see that optical encoders and other electromagnetic resolver. This resolver is capable of converting what is a sensed signal, okay, analog signal into a digital one. Straight away, I can able to give it a DSP and other things. Okay, so these are all the some recent advancement that happens in the sensor side. Okay, so it is very easy to implement any complex and non-linear compensators. Okay, so that is very 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 big advantage of using a digital control of DC drive. I can go for implementing complex non-linear compensator. Okay, so and especially when you are going for online application of control. Okay, so I'm sensing far away. My drive is not near. Okay, I'm sitting in operator room, but whereas sensors and all is kept in suppose in a nuclear reactor and etc. Okay, the pressure and all something, suppose boiler is there far away from that. I want to control the temperature and pressure. Okay, by means of acting a driver. Driver means which is facilitating the flow of liquid or water to the boiler. So if that kind of thing for online parameters, it is very much useful because the digital information can be transmitted through air without any wireless mode also we can able to do. Okay, so very easily I can able to transmit this digital information. So I'm having a boiler, there itself sensors and etc. will be there. After digitally converted, that will be transmitted. Here I am receiving it. After processing that using a DSP microcontroller, my microcontroller or DSP will be giving information to my drive system how much water should be facilitated to the boiler. Okay, how to control flow control, water control, okay, pressure control, everything I can do it. Okay, that is very much possible if we are using the digital control of DC drives only. Okay. So if you see that, so it is very very earlier. Suppose in case any noise and other things means earlier days in analog system. Okay, in analog system after converting the digital and implementing FIR filter and all is very very difficult. Now it is very much possible. Okay, so next slide. In this case, there are loss of information also is possible. It's a threat. It's a threat or it's a challenge. We cannot say that nothing is threat in the technological world. It's a challenge. Okay, so that means when we are doing a sampling, if I'm not able to retrieve back the original signal, that is a continuous time signal by means of train of samples, if I'm not able to retrieve it back, then it is a loss of information. mentioned. So to avoid that, earlier this was the really a big threat or challenge. Okay, so now it is addressed to a theorem called sampling theorem. What is the sampling theorem? That is states here. It's a sampling process. It's mentioned. So whatever the signal at what's the time? Okay, so it is how we are generating the train of sample pulses. So say for example, here in it is beginning with the signal and n minus 1 we are getting the signal, so automatically the it will going to be like a pulse system. Okay, square wave only, then it will go n minus 1, it is achieving the new peak, then it is continuous n, it is achieving n plus 1, n plus likewise. So if I am connecting these points, okay, or edges, okay, I can, if you see that, I can able to retrieve it. How it is possible? This is called sampling theorem. That sampling theorem states that it is possible to, okay, it is possible to sample any continuous time signal without signal deterioration, provided that the input y of t has limited bandwidth. Okay, it should, its bandwidth should be a limited bandwidth. Means by sampling theorem, it states that any signal, any continuous signal can be converted. Okay, can be converted. The digital one, we can able to sample. From that sample, we can able to retrieve back the original signal, provided the YRT has a this YRT has a limited bandwidth. That is, if the highest frequency component, what is the highest frequency component of the particular frequency, if the input is does not exceed one half of the sampling frequency, we have to take into consideration of highest, okay, highest frequency component of the input, okay, and which does not exceeds one half of the sampling frequency, that is Fs equal to 1 by 2. Okay, we can say Fs, that is sampling frequency equal to 1 by t. So this is how, if I am assured that, because this is the very important thing. If you are not assuring, or if you don't know what is the y of t, that is the input signals, maximum frequency and etc., and if you are not attached to the particular one, if the sampling frequency is, okay, one half of the sampling frequency, then there is a maybe a loss of information, or implementing the digital controller DC drive will not give you or will not serve the purpose. So it may deviate. It may deviate than the analog system that we are implementing. So that is not our aim. We want to have a better closed loop performance. So that has to be ensured that. Okay. So if you see any what is the maximum frequency, then automatically, so the maximum frequency will be, we can say that it is a half of the sampling, half of the sampling. Then obviously it is equal to Fs by 2. So it is Fs by 2, then it is nothing but 1 by 2t. 1 by 2t. So I have to do sampling and all with this, which is a sampling frequency. So I should not allow beyond that. Okay. And apart from that, a lot of here in previous slide, okay, if you see that analog to digital converter, now we are getting a very good peripherals, analog to digital converter, with the capable of performing. If you see that the sampling, okay, the sampling can be done more than, greater than 10 power 6 times, 10 power 6. Okay, so in case of analog to digital conversions, and the resolution, okay, if the resolution out of the what we are getting, the resolution of the thing is 10 to 16 bits. Okay, if the resolution is varying from 10 to 16 bits, practically possible analog to digital converter, I'm saying. And suppose, for example, assume that a 10 voltage plus or minus 10 voltage sample, okay, with a 12-bit analog to digital converter, means my least significant bit of the particular information, digital information, it is having how much means 20 voltage. Okay, plus or minus 20 means I am getting 20 voltage. Plus or minus means that complete bandwidth I am taking. Then 12 bit means 2 power 12. So if you put it like that, then I am getting 4.88 millivolt. Okay, so that much precise value I can have it for my least significant bit itself. Okay, this is how the advancement is happening. What is happening in analog to digital converter and shaft speed processing? These are all facilitate and ensure, along with the microcontroller DSP, a complete closed loop operation. Okay, closed loop operation. So now, with the advancement, with all these thoughts placed in that, I can able to redraw a conventional drive system to a digital control of drives with this new diagram where I'm additionally introducing, okay, a control modulator and controller, okay, along with the my computer system. Computer system is nothing but computing system. You can say you can use microcontroller and DSP. Suppose I'm using a big microcontroller, it's dedicated, very less class. Okay, I can able to dedicate, I can able to program. Okay, whatever the languages, you can diffuse that program into the chip. I can able to provide that for that. Suppose parameters change. Okay, parameters change. I have to remove that and I have to erase that. Okay, programs and all. If it's an electrically programmed readable memory. Okay, so I have to erase it and I have place another program. I have to place it and accordingly my system is going to work. So this is how the reliability of the particular one is assured with the highest close to performance. Okay, so these are the two added. So power source is there, converter is there, machine is there, okay, and load is there. So these are the things are already is there. Apart from that, I'm going to use a controller and computer system. This controller is going to be a digital controller that will facilitate the modulation, how much modulation that is going to give to converter. So I can be able to redraw a digital controller of DC drives with a conventional DC drive as this one. As this one. Okay. So this digital controller of DC drives it also facilitates hardware in loop. I don't know how many of you heard about this word or this abbreviation HIL. It is very much now it is popular and very much it is getting the industry hardware in loop. Because if you see the test bench, here only I am going to use the hardware. What to do, how to do, okay, and after the performance analysis, everything is software. In the particular loop, I am going to have only this arrangement is hardware. What is the machine running? Okay, so that is highly possible only when you are using the digital controller DC. Say for example, CASPAC. CASPAC software it is an exclusive software for power electronics and drives. I think it's coming from Switzerland. Okay, I think students can make use of it. You can download a trial version also. I think 1 month you can able to use some limited features. Okay, all the electrical students should try with that. At least you can study what are the examples, different converters, different motor control, digital control. All these things are available. Okay, so of course software may be cost 5 user licenses, 2 lakh, 1.5 lakh. That depends upon the institution. Okay, but being a student, for student version, limited versions are available. Okay, we can able to simulate and whatever the simulation control we are generating, that we can export to C code. See, it's a very big advantage. So, being an electrical engineer, we need not to know or we need not to write a single code in C. If I am able to generate a simulink, appropriate simulink for the rating and other things we are given, it will be exported to C code. So automatically what will happen using a visual DSP, okay, I can able to implement the control, then I can able to download the DSP processor, TMS processor. There the TMS process connect to a machine, then automatically the machine will be running. Whether this properly running, desired outputs only we are getting is that we can able to scope online debugging, okay, Xscope, that we can able to give it to a MATLAB, okay, through a connector, there we can able to analyze the results. There we can. So what is happening really in a machine? Okay, so mechanical machine with the input, okay, with the code generated from CASPAC, I can able to analyze the results. So this is very much possible. Only when we are using the digital controller drives only, hardware in loop this concept is possible. Okay, so this is now a lot of researchers, a lot of universities are doing. Being a student, at least you can able to study, think about CASPAC, DSP processor, how to use TMS processor. Okay, if you start writing coding, it is very tedious. You have to be we are very much thorough with the coding concept and etc. Rather than using a graphical simulation, that is Simulink develop. If you have developed a Simulink that is for a particular rating of machine, and by means of running the simulation, you ensure that yes, everything is or extra work is very well pakka it's working means we can able to export to a C code. Okay, no need of thing. Then after the compiler, it will be downloaded to DSP. The only thing is you have to develop a proper converter motor model, okay, load and all. Then we can able to test the things, whether the results. So by that, I can able to get or I can able to fine tune the close to performance of machine. If anything deviation, then I can able to implement what's the deviation is coming in real time. That I can able to accordingly correct it here in Casper. Once again, I can generate a code. I can erase the particular one what is already there, and once again diffuse the code into DSP. Once again run the machine. I can able to deliver to any industry which is working very pakka manner of close. So this is what happened. So this is the how fundamentally they are doing. Okay, so they are what is they are doing is being an electrical engineer, merely knowing machines and power electronics alone is not sufficient. You should know modeling of machine. Okay, mathematical modeling of machines also very much important. Here a very generic model, okay, which is current source connected, separately excited DC machine. This is what? What is we have flux? What is armature current? Okay, how much is the torque displacement? So this is a very generic model of current source fed separately excited DC machine. Okay, if you are doing an inversion of the particular one current control steps, I can get like this. So what is the torque? Okay, reference you are given and flux value you are given means I can able to get a reference value of armature current, how much armature current required. So this is how it is really implemented in the particular digital control when you are going for the calculation of the armature current and calculation of the field strength. Okay, so what is the speed? What is the maximum flux? What is the reference value of the torque has to be generated. So automatically, if you know flux and torque, if you're putting a divider, then I can able to generate a IA reference. That's what here is there. So using that, I can able to calculate how much has to be done. So the digital, yes, any clarification? If a digital control is there, I can able to go for varying these things. I can able to test that also. Okay. So if in the real time in industry, how they are really implementing this digital control of DC drives is it is a very typical design. Okay, you should know the process. So first they will identify what application, very importantly, for what type of application. Then they are going for codes and what are the constraints with that, using a CAD tool with the lumped parameters. Now, as I already told, CASPAP model and all we are using, and we are going for initial design of machine and converter, and we are going for integration of this design and detail. Then, with the expert knowledge, it is further modified and a performance analysis done. If there is no any performance required performances, then it keep on going to come. They come to a cycle and fine tune. Finally, they come out with the prototype. This is how, okay, so this is how industries are implementing these type of digital drive concepts. Industries, of course, in a nutshell, digital DC drives, okay, how it will be looks like this is how, okay. As I already told here, the speed controller, speed feedback, speed measuring, scaling, firing unit control. This is only going to be digitalized part. Whereas supply unit, rectifier, okay, and DC motor packaging, these are all going to be as it is. So only thing is here only we are going to make it as a digitalization. So that with that I'm going to show two different implementation. One is for the speed and another one is for the position. Okay. As I already told, this are all explained. Okay, what is advancement happening in DSP processor? We are having a very synchronous dynamic random access memory, DSP, EEPROM is there. Okay, so many ADCs there, physical layer we can access, digital I/O inputs are so many advancements happening. So DSP TMS process are now with the latest advancements happening. So with that, I can able to process any digital signal. As I already told, digital control, the complete success or complete desired performances completely relies on the algorithm what we are doing. Because the modern equipment and the digital process and all, I can able to samples of speed reference. Okay, I can able to with the assurance of it is not crossing the half of the frequency of the maximum peak frequency. Okay, sampling. If I'm turning that as per the sampling theorem, I can able to retrieve that's sample of speed reference. If I with this signals, if I construct the signal, that will also look like similar only. So likewise, shaft speed, okay, I can able to get to retrieve. So that much assurance is given. But algorithm only decides, okay, on what way I'm writing algorithm, that only this is having expert knowledge. So that is going to decide the, so what is the torque reference signal that I'm generating, that I'm going to give to a control unit or converter. Okay, so this is what really happening. This is what really digitally happening. Rest of the things are as it is. Okay, so as I already told here, so all the if you see that dotted lines, these dotted lines alone is going to be a using a digital concept, whereas rest of the things and all it is using it as it is. We are not going to touch anything. We are not going to touch anything. Okay, so this is how this is looks like, and if I'm implementing in any MATLAB or any coding speed control system, the digital implementation, this is what a sibling model, speed reference is there, load torque is there. Okay, how much we are controlling error. Okay, and we are generating a torque command, torque reference. This is how in a sub loop or in a sibling model we can able to implement that. If we are implemented that, if you are using that in HIL or if you are using generating that in a CASPOC, okay, I can able to check whether it's working or not. I can able to convert that as a coding also. Okay, C coding, then I can able to diffuse that one or store that one in my DSP processor for further one. And another one is here linear position control. Okay, how it's looking at the position control. For the position control also, can able to generate. Okay, so here the position control I'm using a PID. Usually either we will go for P complete near P we will not go PA or PD. Very rare case of the PID position control will go. Okay, so this is how we are maintaining the particular one. So I think if you want to understand further, you should know the mathematical modeling of machines. This is not only for digital control for DC drives, it's also possible for AC drives also. Okay, so you should know mathematical modeling, DSP processor, microcontroller. Okay, or otherwise we can strong enough in any one of the software platform where you can able to generate a sibling model, okay, control model, okay, that you can facilitate with C code. Then after constructing the real-time machines arrangement, we can give it to as input, run the machine, we can analyze and we can fine tune also for that. Okay, so with this, I think almost 2 hour 15 minutes. So is there any clarification? I'm very happy to address that.
Students, if you are having any clarification, you can interact with sir.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is Siddharthan.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Sir, how are you, sir?
Yeah, fine, sir. Fine. Very well.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir. Very good. So, actually, thank you for your very informative session, sir. I have two questions, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, actually, you told that a maximum frequency should be equal to half the sampling frequency. If not,
Yes,
we will have an undersampling. So, could you explain,
Not
sir?
not only
Ah,
undersampling, my
yes, sir.
closed loop performance. Actually, why we are going for closed loop performance? In a desired way, I have to operate. Suppose if I'm setting 1,500 my RPM, okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after sensing the present speed and etc., my system has to be run at 1,500.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
So
Okay.
if a sampling is done less means it will be very worst case. So automatically, if even though if you're setting 1,500, it may not run 1,300, 1,350 RPM or 400 RPM only one run. Okay, if you are analyzing that, finally we'll come to a conclusion that we have not done a sampling enough. Okay, sampling interval is more. That's only
Yes.
that it deviating. Yes. Yes.
That's the answer I want, sir. Actually, what are the effects that will be affected in the motor side? That's what my question is actually, sir. If we are not doing the correct sampling, so what are the effects in the motor side? Actually, that's what my
Motor
question.
side means desired performance. If I'm setting at 1,500, it will be running at 1,460 or
Okay.
490 RPM. Deviations will be there. Deviations will be there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand. Thank you so
So
much.